If you ask anyone about moving to Italy, you'll hear the same cities: Rome, Florence, Milan, maybe Bologna. But what about the cities in Italy that are hidden gems that even locals overlook? I'm Italian and I recently got back from Rome. I was home visiting family and friends, and over dinner old friends and I started arguing about the same thing we often argue about. Which cities in Italy are genuinely incredible but nobody ever talks about? So we went back and forth for hours, and by the end of the night we had a list. 8 hidden cities that most people, including most Italians, will never think to visit, let alone move to. No crowds, no tourist traps, and an insane quality of life. So today I'm breaking down these 8 cities, property prices, who each city is actually for, and the honest downsides you need to know. Let's get into it. So let's take a moment to talk about Italy. Italy has almost 8,000 municipalities, yet around 60 million tourists a year visit maybe 15 of them. Within the others are many hidden gems, cities with incredible history, world-class architecture, and a cost of living that actually lets you enjoy life instead of just surviving it. The 8 cities I'm highlighting today aren't unknown cheap places. These are cities where wealthy Italians live their best lives completely off the radar. For each one, I'm breaking down what you need to know to make a real decision on whether you'll visit or maybe even consider relocating to. Let's start with the most unusual one. Trieste, the Central European hybrid. Trieste isn't a typical Italian city. It's Vienna by the sea, Habsburg architecture, historic literally cafes where James Joyce wrote Ulysses, a vibe that's half Austrian, half Mediterranean. I have a close friend from the area, and one thing that always struck me, people in Trieste are impeccably dressed. There is an elegance you don't find in other Italian cities. Viennese influence, understated, refined. Population is about 200,000. Property runs around 2.5k per square meter. For 250k, you're looking at 100 square meters, more or less. But here is what matters about Trieste. Ljubljana in Slovenia is 1 hour away. Zagreb in Croatia is 2.5 hours. And Venice is 2 hours. You are essentially at the crossroad of 3 countries. Cost of living is reasonable for a city this size, and there is a growing tech scene around the university and the SISA, which is a top physics and math research institute. Slovenia's Alps are a day trip. The Croatian coast I write recently so often about is a weekend trip. Now, the honest truth. The Bora wind is real. Gusts up to 150 kilometers per hour in winter. You will find buildings with hand rails bolted to walls for pedestrians. I'm not really exaggerating here. The city faces east, not south, cooler summers, colder winters than the rest of the Italian coast. Best for remote workers who want a real city and people who value intellectual culture over beach culture. Lucca, the walled city. Lucca has 4 kilometers of perfectly intact Renaissance walls. You walk or bike on top of them. The evening walk on the walls with views over rooftops and Tuscan countryside is a daily ritual here, not a tourist attraction. I was in Rome last week, and my cousin, who has eaten his way across Italy, told me he has never eaten as well as in Lucca. Truly, that says something. Property is around 2.3k per square meter. Outside the walls, you can get around 1.5. Pisa Airport is 25 minutes away. With all the budget carriers, you are connected to Europe for €30 flights. Population is 94,000. Full services, strong expat community. Digital nomad retreats are actually a thing here now. Florence is 90 minutes by train. The sea is 20 minutes, best for families with kids and remote workers who need airport access. Lecce, the Florence of the south. If you have followed me on X for a while, you know I talk about Lecce a lot. It's one of my absolute favorites. The Baroque architecture here is carved from golden stone that glows at sunset like the city is on fire. Every church, every palazzo, every door frame and carved. Population is 93,000. The University of Salento brings over 25,000 students, which means the city has actual energy year-round. Property is around 1,650 euro per square meter. In the Centro Storico, 250,000 gets you 150 square meters. Brindisi Airport is 40 minutes away. Ryanair hub with flights across Europe. The best beaches in Salento, Gallipoli, Otranto are 30 to 45 minutes away. Cost of living is relatively cheap. The key detail here is Lecce is in Puglia. If you register in a nearby municipality under 20,000 people, you qualify for the 7% flat tax on all foreign income as a pensioner. So this applies if you are already retired. San Cesario di Lecce is 10 minutes away. So that said, Lecce is best for retirees who want culture plus beach plus low cost, a winning combination. By the way, if you are seriously considering relocating to Italy or anywhere else, I recently published something that might be of use: the ultimate guide to citizenship and residency programs in 2026. This has been months in the making, every active program globally, current investment thresholds, real processing timelines, strategic combinations that actually work. 2025 changed everything. Many programs were terminated, extended, or increased in price. But new opportunities emerged that most people don't know about yet. The guide covers all regions and all active programs, as well as decision frameworks for which combinations make sense for your situation. Most importantly, this is a living document. As programs change, it will be updated. So you always have the current information. If you are considering any move beyond just visiting Italy, this is the resource you need. Link is in the description below. Now, let's get back to the cities. Mantova, the Renaissance city nobody knows. Mantova was ruled by Gonzaga dynasty for 400 years. Palazzo Ducale has 500 rooms. 500. Palazzo Te is one of the greatest mannerist buildings in existence. The city is surrounded by 3 artificial lakes. Almost nobody outside Italy knows it exists. But now, you do. Population is 50,000, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Property runs about 1.6k per square meter. 250,000 can get you over 150 square meters. Verona Airport is 30 minutes away. Milan is 1.5 hours. Bologna is 1.5 hours. And Legarda is 30 minutes. You are in the center of Lombardy at a fraction of Milan's prices. Mantova consistently ranks among Italy's top cities for quality of life. Now, this isn't a beach town. This is flat land. Rice paddies, pumpkin fields, Po Valley fog is real. Listener is warned. November to February feels objectively gray, and summers can be humid. English is limited, so you will need Italian here if you stay long term. But if you care about Renaissance art and world-class cuisine, Mantova is unmatched. Best for culture-focused people and families, Verona's international schools are 30 minutes away. Ascoli Piceno, the travertine city, built almost entirely from pale travertine stone, Piazza del Popolo is considered one of the 10 most beautiful squares in Italy. Not by me, by Italians. Population is 45,000, medieval streets, the best fried olives on earth, a Saturday market that's been running for centuries. Property is 1,345 per square meter. The province is appreciating at 30% year over year. Ascoli sits between mountains and sea. Adriatic coast 30 minutes east, Sibillini Mountains 30 minutes west. Beach and sky in the same day. The catch here is you must definitely need a car. Pescara Airport is over an hour away and you are quite isolated. Cost of living is one of the lowest in central Italy, around 1.2 to 1.5k for a couple. Best for retirees who want authentic Italian life without any tourist infrastructure. Orvieto, the city on the cliff. Perched on a volcanic plateau, you take a funicular up to the town. Over 1,200 Tuscan tunnels beneath your feet. One of Italy's greatest Gothic cathedrals above. Population is around 21,500 and property runs about 1,580 euro per square meter. Here is Orvieto's advantage. Rome is 1 hour by fast train. This is the most Rome accessible small city in central Italy. Medieval hilltop life with Roman infrastructure when you need it. Strongest American and British expat community in central Italy. Perugia Airport is 30 minutes. Fiumicino Rome is just over an hour. Cost of living is around 1.3 to 1.5k for a couple. Best for retirees who want peace with Rome access and anyone seeking a creative retreat. Bergamo, hidden in plain sight. This is the ultimate overlook city. I've always said that for over a decade. Orio al Serio is one of Europe's busiest airports. 16 million passengers a year fly in and immediately leave for Milan or Lake Como. Almost nobody explores the city itself. Città Alta, the upper town, is one of the most stunning medieval cities in Italy. Venetian walls, cobblestone piazzas with views of the Alps. Population is 120,000. Property in the center runs about 2,860 per square meter, peripheral areas around 1,800. Orio al Serio Airport is 15 minutes from the city. It's Ryanair's biggest Italian hub with flights to over 130 destinations. Milan is 45 minutes by train. Lake Como is 1 hour and Venice is 2.5 hours. The lower town is a proper modern city. The upper town is your medieval escape. You get both. Cost of living is reasonable. Rent is about half of Lisbon. The truth, it's not cheap by southern Italy standards or even central Italy standards. Winters are cold with Po Valley fog. It has more functional northern Italian city energy than charming village energy. But if you want one of Europe's best connected airports at your doorstep and Milan level infrastructure without Milan prices, this is it. Best for remote workers and founders who fly frequently. And now, the one that might surprise you. Turin. This is Italy's most underrated big city. And I'll explain why nobody talks about it. Turin was Italy's first capital from 1861 to 1865. Before Rome, before Florence. The House of Savoy built it like a European capital, not an Italian town. Grand boulevards, Baroque palaces, 18 kilometers of arcaded porticos. The Alps visible from your window. As a Roman, I feel it every time I go there. People speak quietly, restaurants don't shout at you from the street, nobody is performing. Everything is measured. Here is what people don't know. Turin invented more of what we call Italian culture than almost anywhere else. Vermouth in 1786, the all aperitivo tradition. Gianduja chocolate, which became Nutella when Napoleonic blockades forced chocolatiers to mix cocoa with Piedmont hazelnuts. The slow food movement, the first Italy. The Egyptian museum here is the second largest after Cairo. So why does nobody talks about Turin? Fiat. For decades, the whole city revolved around one factory. Mirafiori employed 60,000 at its peak. But it goes deeper. In Italian culture, where expressiveness is everything and every city competes to be the most alive, perhaps the most authentic, Turin committed the ultimate sin. It was reserved. There is a saying we, unfortunately, use: Torinese falso e cortese. Polite but cold. This is of course wrong. For decades the reputation stuck, serious, grey, not fun, and that reputation outlived the factories, and it stopped being true a long time ago. Real estate is less than half of Milan, 2,150 per square meter, versus an average of around 5,200. Cost of living is 34% cheaper than Milan. Dinner for two with wine rounds between 35 to 50 euro per person. Milan is 40 minutes away by high-speed train. What does 250k buy? Well, in Crocetta, the most elegant neighborhood, about 115 square meters. In San Salvario, where the nightlife happens, about 140 square meters. In Borgo Po, on the hillside, around 100 square meters with views. The same 250,000 euro gets you maybe 50 square meters in Milan. The food. Piedmont has the highest concentration of Michelin stars in Italy. The white truffle of Alba is 90 minutes south. A tasting menu at a starred restaurant here averages about 150 euro. About half of Paris for the same level. Now, my only problem with Turin, every time I visit, I eat so many gianduiotti that it becomes generally unhealthy. So this is the city that invented gianduia. You have been warned if you plan to visit. Let me tell you who Turin is for and who it's not. If you need year-round sunshine, stop here. Po Valley fog from November to February is real. This is not the Mediterranean. If you want charming village Italy, Turin is not that either. It's more Paris than Puglia, just to give you a reference. It's landlocked. The Ligurian coast is 2 hours south. Who it is for? Founders who need Milan access without Milan prices. Foodies who care about where things actually come from. Anyone who wants a real European capital with full infrastructure and none of the chaos. Turin doesn't market itself, it doesn't compete for attention, overall reserved, quite imperial. The most underrated big city in Italy. If you visit Milan, grab a train, you'll understand in the first hour why. So let me break down who each city is actually for. If you're retiring and want culture plus beach access, Lecce is the play. Low cost, incredible food, 30 minutes to the coast. If you want peace with ease Rome access, Orvieto. 1 hour by train, strong expat community. If you want authentic Italy with zero tourists, Ascoli Piceno. For remote workers, if you fly a lot, Bergamo, 130 plus destinations, 15 minutes from the airport. If you want a real city with access to 3 countries, Trieste. If you need Pisa Airport and Tuscany, Lucca, digital Lamazzin, bilingual school in town. If you want Milan access at half the price, Turin, 45 minutes by train. For families, Lucca has a bilingual school right in the city. Bergamo and Mantova are both 30 minutes from Verona's international schools. For budget, Ascoli Piceno is the cheapest at €1,345 per square meter. Lecce is 1.6, with the 7% flat tax option nearby if you are retired. The honest reality about all these cities: they are not Milan. You won't find English-speaking staff at every cafe, and bureaucracy is everywhere. But what they have is genuine community, architecture that took centuries to build, food that hasn't been adapted for tourists, cost of living that lets you enjoy life instead of surviving it. Italy's hidden cities are hidden because they don't market themselves. And that's a huge plus, not something to be afraid of. If you are considering any of these, I'll prescribe you 3 rules. Visit in winter first, not in summer. If you can handle January, you can handle the city. Hire a local commercialista, a tax advisor, an accountant. Don't do it by yourself. Italian bureaucracy is real. Learn Italian to A2 level before you move to. In these cities, it's not optional. With some cities you can get away with English more than others, but in any case, it won't be optimal. These are 8 cities I'd personally relocate to. The ones where even wealthy Italians live their best lives completely off the radar. If you found this valuable, subscribe to this channel. I'm covering every major jurisdiction and hidden gem for location-independent people, the real numbers, the real trade-offs, no fluff. Drop a comment and tell me which city sounds most interesting to you. And as always, thanks for watching and ciao for now.